Everybody for coming out on this drizzly Good Friday. I think we all know why we're here. It's a very sad moment. It's a moment that we wish we weren't here. And I'm just going to read something that I wrote earlier, and we're going to then, we're lucky enough, we've got Martin here who worked with Aidan down in Sligo, so he's going to say a few words. And also we've got Mid-Ulster Pride represented here, so we're going to hear from them as well. And if anybody else wants to say anything, you're very welcome to do that. Just give me a wee nod or whatever. No, everybody's very welcome. We're here this evening to celebrate the lives of Aidan Moffat and Michael Snee. We carry candles as a reminder of the light they brought to the world that was so violently blown out less than a week ago. The pain and suffering that Aidan and Michael endured before their deaths is unimaginable and ripples through our hearts. May their souls find peace and comfort. We also send love and healing to Anthony Burke, who lost an eye at the hands of the same person. LGBTIQ plus people have long experienced violence, ostracization, and bigotry. We are familiar with name-calling, hiding, finding our pockets of peace where we seek each other out in a hostile world. The murders of Michael and Aidan are all the more shocking because in many ways there has never been a better time to be a queer person on the island of Ireland. Personally, I feel so grateful that I can marry my partner and walk down Omagh High Street holding her hand and be greeted with smiles. We are grateful that unlike her country, we have rights here, hard-won rights that Aidan and Michael were only just beginning to enjoy the benefit of. We gather here today in outrage and solidarity with LGBT people everywhere. This needless taking of life is a reminder of how precious life is, of the importance of holding each other close, of looking out for one another. We are grateful that we live on an island where queer lives are finally protected, and remember that for many LGBT people, their state actively persecutes them and even puts people to death for their sexuality. We didn't know Aidan and Michael, but let's assume that they wouldn't want their deaths to be used as a fan to ignite racist sentiments. The actions of one individual should never be used to justify the demonization of an entire group of people. We must work to counteract the systemic issues, to ensure that we care for and protect each other. We must build safer spaces online, counteract religious extremism, poverty, and treat mental health problems at an early stage before they are allowed to fester and endanger others. We must create a society where guilt, shame, and fear is no longer a feature of being queer, and that our community is not forced into the shadows or reluctant to seek protection from the authorities. We will not let the actions of one human being destabilize the new Ireland that we are creating based on acceptance, freedom, compassion, and love. And now I just want to invite Martin to just come and say a few words about, thank you very much.
Hello folks, this is not something I'm particularly used to speaking or anything like that. I just learned about this event, I'd say less than 2 hours ago. But yeah, you're indeed right. You can probably tell from my accent, I'm actually from Dublin. but I spent a number of years in Donegal working with the enemy, the Bank of Ireland, and that's where I came across Aidan. What I will say is most definitely that Aidan did not want this used to bash or you know, just to pick on anybody else. This is something that happened and it's horrific. Absolutely bad. But one thing that he would have done, and I would like to think that you'll all do it tonight, is he'd raise a glass, he'd raise a smile, he would have divil for the pints, or divil for the crap, and it didn't matter who you were, where you were, what you were. If you were there and you didn't have your drink in hand, I'd be fairly confident they would have bought you. So that's all I'd ask you to do tonight. It's a long time since I've seen him, it's a long time since I've spoken to him, and it's something that I have to say it's not a great feeling. But a gentleman is exactly what he was. Dug out of the bog, pure countryman, but a gentleman nonetheless. Michael, God bless him as well, another victim, horrific circumstances. I've no doubt another gentleman. And as you say there, that Anthony fell out well, who was assaulted horrifically, looking for survive, if that's sort of thing, the loss of a man. So all I'll say to you guys is fair lately, I think it's wonderful. It's a lovely testament to no doubt two people. Absolutely wonderful testament. And just keep up the good work. Look after each other, love each other, and look at each other. Alright, thank you.
Thank you very much. And I just bring up Molly from the Ulster Fight.
Thank you. I wish we were here under better circumstances, folks, and it is heartwarming to see so many here to come together at this moment and to share our grief and our love and wanting a better community for ourselves to live in. Oscar Wilde once said, "Live the wonderful life that is in you," and that is what we want here. That is what every person who is LGBTQ deserves. They deserve to live the wonderful life that is in them. And when is enough enough? When can we stop hiding away in the shadows without fear of being called upon or laughed at or looked and sniggered at? When is enough enough? Today, that is when enough is enough. We are here now as Omagh Pride, Mid-Ulster Pride, allies, LGBTQ people. We are all here together to share all of our love that we so rightly have to give. And it's powerful, folks. And all we can do is continue fighting, continuing to walk down the streets, holding our partners' hands, sharing the love we have with them, and sharing that love with people around us as well. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you so much to Omagh Pride for organising this. It's a great thing to see. And thank you so much for speaking as well. It touched me, you know, it really did. And it's something that we have to do. We have to have our voices heard again. So thank you all so much, folks.
And thank you to everybody who's travelled long distances to be here, and everybody who's from the town who's come out. I know we've also got a number of our people who have been seeing up on the lampposts who are here as well, and also some apologies from people who can't make it. Is there anybody else who would like to say anything, who would like to share? So I just want to do a wee poem, if that's all right. And this is one that I wrote about Omagh Pride that we had in September. And it was such a joyous day, sunny day, a wonderful occasion. And I know that in Sligo Pride have been so vibrant and have done so much and have been a real beacon for us in the Northwest, trying to organise and create community for queer people. So I think it's also important at this time to remember the wonderful things as well, and to remember how strong and resilient our community is. So this is Homosexual. Go on, you rural queers, too tiny for culture, who couldn't get buses home from the Kremlin, so found homes in the sticky floors of the clock, tonguing ice between friends as if it was a game. Blessed be the dial-up connecting transatlantic crushes on poetry message boards. I believe in the lipstick lesbians, the LGBT society slinking back into heteronormativity, unwilling to get a lesbo buzz. Glory be to the country queens experimenting with lingerie in the Peacock's fitting room. Give it up for the one Greencastle lesbian. In her 60s, finally an Ulster-haired cover girl. Praise be to the straight ex-army workmate calling in the nothing to be proud of signs on every road. Shout out to people before profit, their human shield, muting Hail Marys, sayers, hoisting the Virgin. They did right, the PSNI, delivering the gazebo out of uniform. Fair play to all the Zoom attendees, and have mercy on the leak who fed the queer reporter his sectarian scoop for Belfast Live. A credit to you, cooed the 70-year-old ladies, nails rainbowed especially, recalling Granny Brogan's toffee apples, their new mum from school debates, when her words rolled smoother than her wheelchair. Forgive my taunter in the pub garden, like we're still 5, another soul who never got to be in this rural town in the drizzling hills, isolation nipping like midgies at the Gorchin Lakes. They're wild good, the teens, changing in Bob and Bert's toilets to hide from their parents, and the workers blue-petering window displays despite bosses. You did us proud, Omagh sexual. And I'd like to just do a 1-minute silence, if that's okay with everybody. And I'm just going to look at my brother and ask him to do the 1-minute thing. Yep. Should give a heads up on that. So just to join together on this Good Friday, when we are thinking about this horrific act that has happened so close to us, and remembering Aidan and Michael, and sending them our love, our compassion to their families, to their friends, to those who knew them, and everyone who is affected, and wishing them the peace and companionship. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here on an Easter weekend, a holiday weekend. It's so heartening to see so many people here, despite the difficult circumstances that brings us together. And I'm sure that the fact that so many people all over this island are coming together today to remember our two fallen comrades will bring us even stronger than we were before. And that's not going to bring them back. It doesn't make it okay, but it is something. So thank you so much for being here. So thank you so much for being here. And do you know where we're going to go to the pub? So we might, it'd be lovely if anybody wants to hang around, to talk, to meet. I think something that we really need is more places for LGBT people to get together and to feel supported and to feel safe. And I hope that this gathering today leads to more opportunities for that to happen. So thank you so much, everybody.